So I just came across an absolutely insane story that is making the rounds right now all over the internet, and that has to do with Politico. Now, if you guys don't know who or what Politico is, they are essentially a news agency that was running smear campaigns against gamers and the initial Gamergate for a long time. Obviously, they cover a bunch of other things as well, but there is a multitude of articles that specifically targeted Gamergate out of everything. Now, here's the hilarious thing. Apparently, it has been revealed because obviously Trump is now in office and all of these funds are being discovered by Doge, but apparently Politico took $8 million in USA taxpayer money in order to actually start attacking Gamergate and pushing an anti-gamer narrative, which again was discovered thankfully because Trump is now in office. It's absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen, to see this kind of story. And we kind of know that this stuff happens, right? We already know there has been games out there that we've covered on this channel that have been politically funded, right? And there's also games like Dustborn, for example, that are also governmentally funded. They are doing this because they are trying to utilize the biggest entertainment means that is currently out there right now in order to try to influence or indoctrinate as many people as they possibly can. Even if it's a little bit of people, at the end of the day, if they can get a few, it was worth it to them. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Plays. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, again, Politico taking money, not really that shocking to me, but I do think it's absolutely hilarious where we can tie it to the original Gamergate and see history unfold in front of our eyes and be like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. So it turns out that Politico, the left-leaning news outlet that has long smeared the Gamergate and the gaming community, was receiving millions of dollars in taxpayer dollars. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of gamers out there that are going to be highly upset that their money went to something like this, and rightfully so. But here's the funny thing. Most people don't even realize what their taxpayer money actually goes to. We all pay taxes, but probably 90% of the people don't understand what the money actually goes to most of the time. Our money gets wasted every single day. Every minute of every day, our money gets wasted by the government. And it's not shocking that a government, that especially the Biden administration, that was trying to focus so much on propaganda, especially leading up to the election, it wouldn't be shocking to know that they were getting money during all this nonsense. They were giving out money for this. Now, obviously, this didn't happen during Biden's administration. It actually happened during Obama's administration, because this happened during the initial Gamergate, which for all intents and purposes, basically the same administration. Let's be honest here. There's conspiracies out there that Obama was running Joe Biden half of the time anyway when he was in office. But that's besides the point. So yes, this was funded by the Democrat administration at the time of their presidency, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous to see this go down, but here we are. And I'm glad again that they are exposing this. This funding bombshell was highlighted by ex-user Anna Saldane, who pointed out that Politico has published multiple articles related to Gamergate, consistently framing it as disinformation and harassment campaign while pushing narratives about diversity in gaming. A search for Gamergate on Politico returned 22 different articles. This revelation raises serious questions about whether taxpayer money was used to promote a political agenda within gaming journalism. I mean, of course it was, right? Because they were trying to interject their political agenda in everything, not just gaming journalism. They were probably trying to do it in Hollywood. They were trying to do it in gaming. They're trying to do it in gaming now half of the time. It's not really that shocking to see something like this, in my opinion, but it is very much inflammatory and insane to look at this and say, wow, I can't believe our taxpayer money actually funded this, but it really shouldn't be that shocking. Then if you look here, it says that people have wondered if our taxpayer dollars were used to promote wokeness in video games, and the answer is yes. They posted, U.S. aid paid Politico millions per year to write pieces like this one, which promotes diversity and describes Gamergate as disinformation and a harassment campaign. How many times have we seen different things called supposedly disinformation, misinformation, or harassment campaigns? How many times have we seen that and they've been proven to be false, right? It's pretty obvious at this point that whenever they start spewing nonsense like that, most of the time it's not true. Most of the time it's fake. Most of the time it is in fact propaganda, and they're trying to get their way with a particular cause, whatever that might be. Then during Wednesday's White House press briefing, Levitt confirmed that Politico's taxpayer funding is being terminated immediately. Okay, so let's watch this video. I haven't actually seen it yet, and let's see what's going on.
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The Doge team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort.
That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. So, number one, shout out to the Trump administration for actually catching this stuff and going through the books and realizing what's a waste of money and what's not. The fact that they were giving $8+ million, like this person says, to subsidize the subscriptions to Politico, I think it's ridiculous. And it goes to show that the majority of these outlets would not survive if it wasn't for secret funding that people weren't even made aware of. Most people don't even realize that the organization Pink News, for example, that terrible organization is run by a hardcore leftist activist female. That organization, that website's subsidized by rich Australian investors. I hope you guys realize that. It's not because they're making money, it's because they're subsidized by Australian investors. That is why we need to look into these people's funding, because let's be real, a lot of it comes from some sort of governmental official, or it just comes from a private investor that has a particular stake in it for whatever that reason may be. So again, shout out to the Trump administration. This is absolutely awesome. Then the Doge team, short for the Department of Government Efficiency, is led by Elon Musk and has been tasked with eliminating wasteful spending in federal contracts. President Donald Trump commented on this controversy on his Truth Social platform. He says in all caps, of course, looks like billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and other agencies, much of it going to the fake news media as a payoff for creating good stories about the Democrats. The left-wing rag known as Politico seems to have received $8 million. Did the New York Times receive money? Who else did? This could be the biggest scandal of them all, perhaps the biggest in history. The Democrats can't hide from this one. Too big, too dirty. This man is out here exposing them all. That's absolutely fucking insane, ladies and gentlemen. Now, again, Politico has aligned itself with activist gaming journalists who do push woke narratives under the guise of combating toxicity. Their extensive coverage of Gamergate framed gamers as reactionary extremists rather than addressing the legitimate concerns about media corruption that sparked the controversy in the first place. So, again, guys, most of you guys already know what happened during Gamergate 1.0. Most of you guys already know what's happening during Gamergate 2.0. Don't need to rehash it, but ultimately it's pretty obvious that our enemies are well-funded, so well-funded that they're governmentally funded, and at this point it makes you wonder who else is paying them and why are they doing so. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.